Bless the Lord, O my soul, bless.
As I'll be having another interview with Father Joseph Iannuzzi soon, and in the midst of putting the questions together, I'd just like to share one of my favorite questions before, which is about the angels, and one of them is how our guardian angels feel when we sin. So this is going to be a quick one, but still, even though you've listened to this before, it still doesn't hurt to listen to it again. There are 2 clips of the interview here, so we'll start with this one. I don't feel the presence of my guardian angel in my life. Is he really there to help me and guide me?
The question is, why does it feel as though we do not receive any help or guidance from our angels? But the key word here is feel. When your angels are by your side, do not expect sensible feeling, but faith experience. Remember, angels are not physical beings, they're pure spirits. So you may not be able to experience them on the sensorial level with your smell, taste, touch, hearing, sight. Sometimes you may not even have an affection impressed upon you by them. But once you engage your faith, the faith experience becomes manifest. So it all depends on what you're looking for in terms of a confirmation from your angel. If it's a sensorial experience, feeling, don't wait for that. But if it's a faith experience, it will always be there. Paul says faith is not by seeing, but by believing in the things that are unseen. And Jesus told Thomas, blessed are those who do not see, but believe. When you receive the Eucharist, I ask these people, what do you feel? When you receive the sacrament of confession, what do you feel? Do you feel anything? Some people don't. Do they believe that Jesus is entering them? Of course they do. Just because they don't feel confession doesn't mean that's not happening. These are eternal, spiritual, invisible realities, guardian angels, the sacraments, intercession of the saints, and the Blessed Mother, and so forth. Our guardian angels are there 24/7. The thing I would recommend for these individuals to come to this faith experience is reading a book about the guardian angels, true stories. By reading that, your faith experience grows in them. Read Padre Pio and his experience with his guardian angels. He had more than one. And we're all given different angels according to our mission number. Some have one, some have more. But the point is they are there 24/7. They do not sleep while we do. They never leave our side. If we enter into a state of recollected contemplative prayer, I believe we will be able to see them with the eyes of our soul. This is called internal vision. It's also known as the mind's eye. That's the word God uses with Catherine of Siena. He tells her, use your mind's eye and envision me within you. This is the way the servant of God, Luisa Picaretta, envisioned the child Jesus in the womb of Mary, through her imagination coupled with faith in her mind's eye. So if a person wants to have this confirmation of their guardian angel, enter into a state of contemplative recollected prayer and allow God to form within you the image of your guardian angel within your soul, and you'll see him there. This is also known as a substantial locution. A locution is a word or words that are spoken, but sometimes they also bring images with them. They could be successive locutions, formal locutions, or substantial locutions. The first 2 are ordinary gifts. The last, the substantial, is an extraordinary gift. But yeah, through prayer, through recollection, through faith, we can experience them.
And then, for the next clip, it will be this. What do our guardian angels do when we sin?
It's a good question. We find the answer to this in the writings that are endorsed or approved by the Church with its official seals of approval, namely the Imprimatur and the Nihil Obstat, from the saints, the writings of the saints that are approved by the Church. And we find that the angels weep when we do something sinful. We're all given a guardian angel. And this is a teaching of several saints, Saint Alphonse de Liguori and others, at conception. Now, some people may be given more. Padre Pio addresses this as well, depending upon their mission, their universal mission and vocation in the church. So naturally, the Blessed Virgin Mary had many angels accompanying everything she thought, said, and did, and bringing these divine acts that she performed that were sinless, that participated in God's one eternal act to the throne of God to increase the accidental glory of not only themselves, but the saints in heaven and alleviate the souls in purgatory's sufferings. Now, our guardian angels, we all have one guardian angel. And when we do something sinful, it causes them to weep. Why? Because they are pure spirits. They have no stain, no imperfection in them. They are pure emanations of God's love. And when they see sin, or they experience it, and they have to because they're always by our side 24/7, even when we sleep, they lose, in a way, some of that accidental glory that they would have otherwise received had we done something good. So we affect them as well, not just God. So they weep not only for God's sufferings on account of sin, but because of their own opportunities lost to grow in the glory of God through our good acts on earth, which are replaced by sinful acts. And you mentioned something about Satanists whenever they do rituals or something like that. What do their guardian angels do? Yeah, this is really a travesty, because some of these souls may be lost for all eternity, and their guardian angels will carry that with them for all eternity. That is the loss of the soul to whom they were entrusted. But the guardian angels are not blamed by God if a soul should not follow the will of God or lose its own immortal soul to Satan, because they are commissioned to do exactly what God asks of them, and that is to light, to govern, to guide, to protect. And the letter to the Hebrews speaks of the angels and says that we don't serve them, they serve us. Now, why is that? It's because, and this has to do with why Lucifer rebelled against God in heaven, because Jesus, according to the teachings of Saint Polycarp, who was a disciple of Saint John the Evangelist, and the disciple of Polycarp was Saint Irenaeus, according to Polycarp, Saint John the Evangelist taught that God revealed to Lucifer before he became evil or rebelled against God, that the second person of the Trinity would assume a human and not an angelic nature. And Satan did not want to serve a rational being that was inferior to him intellectually, which we are. So he said, I will not serve this plan. And Lucifer did not enjoy the beatific vision. Had he passed that test and accepted God's plan, he would have been admitted to the beatific vision, because once you enjoy the beatific vision, you cannot sin. So you see, Lucifer still could have sinned, meaning he was not yet admitted to that beatific vision. And therefore, the letter to the Hebrews, when he states that we serve, I'm paraphrasing, we serve God and the angels serve us, it's because, in part, of what St. Paul says, that in the end we will judge angels. So even though the angels surpass us intellectually, rationally, because of the incarnation of Christ into human nature, we surpass them in nobility. And therefore our guardian angels will always carry that loss of a soul if it goes to hell through unrepentant satanic rituals. And but remember, even though it carries that loss, there's a certain joy in the fact that God's justice is impeccable. So if a soul is lost, it's not the fault of the angel, it's not the fault of God, it's the fault of that soul. And God's justice is glorified in heaven as much as his mercy. So they don't, let's say, they don't live in a state of sorrow in heaven, the guardian angels. They rejoice in the justice of God as well.
Well then, that will be all for the video this time. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. And hopefully all of you have learned so much from this video. And remember, if ever you have any feedback or suggestion, please let us know in the comments below. Anyway, if you like what we do and you'd like to support us, I left a link to our PayPal donation in the description box below, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your continuous support, contributions, and prayers. And until the next one, thanks again for watching and may God bless you.